Hi, welcome back to Everyday Race. Today I'm going to show you how to select correct gear ratio and chain length for your sport bike. So you want to increase the acceleration rate of your motorcycle. The easiest way of doing this is to change the gear ratio. But the question is, how much of a top speed can you compromise? So for this, I found this great website at www.gearingcommander.com, and that's what I'm going to be using it today. So first, we're going to have to select the bike that we're going to use to change gearing on. So I'm going to use the 2004 Kawasaki ZX-10R as an example. So first, I'm going to find the Kawasaki. Then I'm going to select model, which is a Ninja. And then I'm going to select version, year. I'm looking for 2004 Kawasaki ZX-10R. Next, we're going to click on the load gearing. The next thing I'm going to do is change the select units. I'm more comfortable with mile an hour, so I'm going to change it from kilometers per hour. And there we have it. There's a lot of good information here. We got the gear ratios in the transmission. We got the tire size. We got the RPM, stock gear ratio, and chain links. So first, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify custom setting. I'm not going to touch stock or current. So since my bike has 180 55/17 inch tire, I'm going to go ahead and change it. You can also measure the actual tire size to get more accurate calculations. The reason for that is because different brands' tires are actually different sizes. So like let's say Pirelli is usually taller, and if I choose Shenko hookup, even though it's a 180 55/17 inch tire, it's actually going to be not as tall. So in this example, I'm just going to leave it alone at 77.9. Next, I'm going to change the RPM. My maximum RPM on the bike is 12,500 RPM. I'll go ahead and do that right here. Then we can scroll down, and it actually tells us the maximum speed that the bike is able to achieve with that RPM in 6th gear with that gear ratio. So the main thing in selecting gear ratio is your ability to compromise. The higher the speed, the lower the acceleration. The higher the acceleration, the lower the speed. So you have to really find a happy medium that fits your usage, how you using the bike. So for example, if you're every day doing 190 miles an hour, changing the gear ratio isn't really for you. The stock gear ratio is going to work the best for you. But if you're willing to compromise, let's say for example, I was drag racing my bike, and I know my maximum speed at the racetrack was 150 miles an hour. I changed the gearing so my maximum speed would be 150 miles an hour to get as much acceleration as possible. So to change the gearing, all you do is you change the front and rear sprocket. So what I did is I went to 16 tooth front sprocket and 46 tooth rear sprocket. Let's see exactly. Let's click enter, and there it is. My maximum speed was 152.6 miles an hour. This website gives you pretty good calculations. Instead of buying sprockets and trying them on, you can actually put the numbers in and actually get correct readings. So for drag racing, I'd recommend as aggressive timing as possible. For street riding, you can probably just go -1 on the front sprocket and +2 on the back. It really depends what you're looking for. All you have to remember is that the more aggressive the gearing, the lower the top speed, the highest the acceleration rate, the more fuel your bike is going to consume, and your engine is going to have more wear on it since it's going to be revving pretty high. With less aggressive gearing, it's going to be opposite. Your top speed is going to be higher, your acceleration rate is going to be lower, your fuel consumption is going to be better, and your engine life is going to be longer, which is common sense. So this gear ratio worked for me. If I was going to race in a Texas mile, obviously I would probably shoot for, I'd probably end up using a stock gear ratio because my bike is probably capable of doing roughly 190 miles an hour with the power that it makes. So when you selected the gear ratio, for example 1646, your chain is going to have to be longer since the rear sprocket is actually bigger in size. So all you do is you scroll down to right about here, and this is the distance between the center of a front sprocket and the center of a rear sprocket. And as we can see, stock setup is 25.53 inches. So all you have to do is change the amount of links to achieve the same or really close to the same distance. And the numbers can only be even. So let's go ahead and try 112 link chain. Hit enter. And we're pretty close. Let's try 114 chain link. 25.76. So that's pretty much the chain length that I would have to buy to use with the gear ratio that I've selected, which was 1646. So this website is really helpful, and I hope you like this video, and hopefully it'll save you some time selecting correct gear ratios and correct length of chain. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.